Welcome to Sacred Conversations, where we get to sweep out the dust that has been put underneath the carpet. And it's just like, why aren't we having these conversations? Because if we don't have these conversations, and if we don't, as a society, start reflecting deeper on what is it that we are doing, then we are simply recreating an issue and adding to the problem. My name is Mandulo, and today's topic is men who love their moms but despise women. Ooh. This one, there is so much to unpack with this. But this is dark feminine energy that breeds into physical manifestation dark masculine energy. And energies are not gender related, okay? But certain genders have a predominant energy that they would exude, okay? So there was this one time where I was waiting for a bus and I see this mom and her son. Son comes through, is just cursing at the mom. And this little boy is like no more than 8 years old, for sure. And he clearly learned this at home. There's no other place. And he's cursing at her, and it's if you, and in South Africa, if you know the word UP, it's just, my heart just sank. And I was just like, what is going on in some homes? Like, what is going on? Anyways, so eventually there's a whole interaction between me and the mom, and then I ask if I could like speak to the son. We have a conversation, and then when I was just about to leave, and that interaction of her going at him like this was her partner. She was literally, I don't have the exact words that she said, but she was talking to him as if this little boy was her partner. And then it took me to an interaction I had with someone who was 18 years my senior. Okay. And this person spoke about how he was the only child and his mom was just like his rock, you know, and no other love can compare to his mom's love, and no amount of sleeping around with someone or different types of women who would come into his space would suffice. And then it got to me thinking of certain interactions I've had and experiences, and learning through other people's experiences too, that there is a breed of men who, one would call it like a mama's boy. One could say that. Some people would classify it in that situation, and then the sons who are classified in that don't like that. So they might just say they just really love their moms. And they love their moms dearly. But when it comes to relationship, the disrespect that they serve women is wild. You know, when I look at what I've attracted in my past, it's wild. It's wild. And the way in which the dark feminine can work, because the thing is, when you are going through your journey, and you don't like, often when you're beginning the healing journey, you don't even realize that you need to heal. But you do realize that there's something off, but you don't know necessarily that it's the word like healing. Like there's a lot more healing. There's a lot more within you that you've been attracting, because from the outside conditioning and your nervous system, those two working together can just create something that you would have never expected ever for your life to be, like for you to experience in your life. And the thing is, these men have daughters. Sorry. I don't mean to laugh, but it's just a very interesting thing for me, because the way in which they also show love for their daughters is wild too, because they want to protect their daughters. But what happens between that gap of mom, son, partner, and daughter? Okay. So, mom, son, something dark is happening there. And not all cases, obviously, I'm just talking about the case with the dark feminine. And then son and partner, it's like the opposite. He has very little respect for the wombed man, right? And then he comes and has a daughter and wants to protect her. He has a daughter and wants to protect her from someone like him. Do you? Sorry. It's very wild. It's very wild, and it's like what Einstein says: insanity is doing the same thing, expecting a different result. I would be so curious to find out what happens, what's the ripple effect of these daughters who are protected from these very men who disrespect women but love their moms. I'm like, okay, we need to understand what is happening between the moms and their sons, because what I have realized, it's a little bit twisted, is that often in romantic relationships, when parents have kids, often what would happen is the mom will treat the son like the lover she's never had. And the dad will treat his daughter and his son with unemotional availability. Because there's something that is happening within the relationship of the being and the doing. I speak about this often, that within the being and the doing, it's the being and the doing. And then when it comes to your parents and your parents will never feel that they have done enough. So that's action orientated. They never feel that they are sufficient. So ultimately what they're saying is they don't feel good enough. And then in turn, what happens to you won't feel good enough, because that energy is a mirror reflection unto you. And remember, people can only give you what they have, right? So you look at your life, and it's not to blame. It's literally what they had and their opportunities too. But if they don't feel enough, and if they feel that they haven't done enough and you feeling like you aren't enough, remember they are also kids who feel the exact same way to their parents. So your parents also feel that they aren't enough because their parents would have felt that they haven't done enough too. So it's a cycle, and up until you bring awareness to the cycle, then we can change. But if you're going to ignore this vicious cycle that is recreating something else, a different pattern that from the root is dark, then we've got a problem. We've got a huge problem, because like I said, I'm going to be very curious, and maybe I should start looking to find out, like, these daughters that these men have, how are they in the world, you know? So, mom, son, you it appears like if moms, and I know in some states some moms have married their sons, or rare cases should I say, but I swear there are some women, if they could, they would marry their sons. If there was some legal something in certain countries, I almost bet that they would do it. But now here's the thing that breeds the mom and the son, because you can't, if your mom is your pillar of understanding unconditional love and acceptance, disrespect another woman, because that's another woman's daughter. That's another man's daughter. So what it has come to my awareness, and it's not the complete awareness of this whole story, it's just an aspect of it. So you can share your aspects of what you feel on this, because I'd be very interested to find out. Like, this is a very interesting relationship and way to relate in the world. So we have the mom and the son. The mom treats the son as if that's her partner and gives him the love that she never can get from her partner, right? Because of the wounds that they have. Now, in my mind, the son is feeling this heaviness and this darkness because at the root, that's where his love was rooted, at the base of darkness, right? And the dark is the heavy wounds, okay? The unhealed aspects. Now, somewhere along the line, there is some form of hatred and revenge. There must be, because there is no way. If you look at lifestyles now, like, let's take it to the club. If you just see what is going on there, we have now bred a society and a culture from the feminist movement to let me just think about this one properly, because it's very fascinating for me, this thing. Like, when I look at it, and I'm just like, what is going on? So we've got the woman empowerment, and there's almost a sense of revenge that also comes through that aspect, but we're not talking about that now. And then that's towards men, and then men towards women. So it's this cycle of the rooted wound, the dark feminine energy that breeds the dark masculine energy. I hope I'm making sense here. You'll catch whatever you need to from this conversation. But the mom-son revenge is almost like somewhere deep down inside him, he knows that he was fulfilling a role, a certain role. There is an aspect within that side that he was fulfilling a role that his sort of childhood could have also been taken away to a certain extent because of the pressure that some parents don't realize that they push on their child, because they are relating with them, but in relating with them, they talk to them like they are their partner and their equal. So a child rarely gets to be a child in these sort of cases, because now he's having to be her man. He's having to be her support structure in some way or form, right? And usually what you'll find is that the mom generally will not have the best of relationships with her man. Okay. Anyway, so then we go into the son and the partner, because why would you, if you love your mom, not treat another woman with respect? Because your mom is someone's daughter, you know? And we go back to the club. I don't know how I switched up so quickly, but we go back into the club and we look at, like I said, the feminist movement, which has now created a tribe and a socialized tribe of women who are taking their power by almost using their bodies as a form of weapon, which in some cases is like amazing to do too. But on certain aspects, when you're doing it from a wounded space, you don't know that you are creating deeper grooves within your wound, because now you attract a man who will throw money, and they're also doing this because with the level of disrespect that they have for women, it's like they don't see them for what they are. And it's concerning. It's concerning because it's breeding a culture of people who think that they're going to do better, but they have a foundation that is deeply wounded. So remember, like I said, you can only teach from what you know. And I didn't mean to go into the whole like club situation, because that on its own is another another topic. But I just wanted to, let us get curious about like what is really going on. Because if you love your mom, surely you would love a woman. And it's not to say that you'll love her equally, but you would hold reverence for her. Because if your mom represents a certain aspect that you love and adore and respect, you would understand that the very same mother can also create a daughter, right? So it's just to question what is going on in the homes with women with dark feminine energy in relation to their son. What are they teaching them about women, that these men are highly disrespecting women, and then have these women, or they're not like women, kids, what am I talking about? They are children who are girls who they now feel that they're going to protect from these very men that they are. Anyways, there's no particular solution. It's opening up conversation. And the solution is to do the healing work, but it's to open up that conversation to go, guys, we got to check. Something is off. We are completely off from our cycle. We are now completely moving against nature, because that is not the way nature is supposed to cycle into. So there's obviously always going to be repair, but in that repair and in the rebuilding of something, let it be of respect and honor and reverence for the divinity of our being, because we all have an important role here, And of course, all of this has a certain role. All of this leads into something else. But I just also really want to encourage you as women who are choosing partners to be aware of this, that does this person love their mom, respect women? What is their relationship in their past with women? How do they speak about women? Because how a man will speak about a woman is definitely how he's going to treat you. Because one other thing we must also understand, that I'm very suspect of someone who loves you and shows you respect but doesn't show other women respect. I don't know. For me, something doesn't quite gel well. But anyways, I'm going to leave it at that and see where this topic leads to next. Up until next time, please do like, share, and subscribe. And please, through these conversations, we are hoping to relate better and bring into our space people who hold respect for our divinity. And then it also gets to help us see what are we bringing in to our space. So, love and light.